Hi, I'm Chris. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is another GameMaker tutorial on air hockey. In the last tutorial that I did, what I changed was all of the code, all of the stuff, all of the drag and drop features inside of GameMaker. I changed them into code, so you can see like in here. The next part I want to do, well, what I originally planned to do was to do the testing section. But what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to implement like a menu system, and then the last installment will be the final testing section. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to import some new backgrounds that I've made. I made these backgrounds in exactly the same way as the previous backgrounds using Pixlr, so you should be able to make them yourselves, or you can download these ones. So this first one is going to be game underscore screen. Game menu, that's it. Okay, then I'm going to load it, and it's in the same folder as the other ones, and this one is this. Alright, so what I've got here, or what I've done, is I've got the same background page that we had from before, and then I've got a start game section and an exit game section. Okay, and then the next screen I've got, so let's load this in. Create background bg underscore game, and then underscore diff, and this is like a difficulty screen, so this is going to be where you can select whether you want to play on easy, medium or hard. So if I open this one up, you should be able to see that in the graphics that I've made. Okay, the graphics are quite crude, and that's pretty much the style of this game. It's also got a return button on this, so if you click on this button, it will bring you back to the main menu, and then the easy, normal and hard will take you to different versions of the game, which we'll set up in the next video after this. Okay. After doing that, I added in some extra. Basically, I've got these versions here of the windscreens. But in order to make like the navigation a bit more fluid, I've got new versions of these, so I'm going to load those in now. So open up the old one for the player 1 wins, and then we've got this player 1 wins with this return button on it. So this return button will take you back to the difficulty screen, which is what we're going to do. And then I'm going to update the other one. So load, find the right one, which is this one, and then open, and you can see that it's got that feature on it now. Okay. The other thing I've done is in the object section we had a restart game button thing. This was good for when we were testing the game, but now I've removed that, so it's all going to be like navigation based of how we play the game. Okay, so we've got that. I also got my room level 1, this one here, and I've renamed it to rm underscore game level 1, and we will make other versions, but I'll save those for the next version. We're just going to get the navigation working. Alright, so in the room section, I'm going to do create room, and the object, in the new one, then settings, and we're going to call this rm underscore game underscore menu. There we go. And we're going to change the resolution to 1280 and 720, like so. And we're going to add in the background. So background, find game menu, and you should be able to see this like this. If I zoom out and turn the grid off, you can see how it looks. Okay, and then we're going to create the other one. So actually, I think we can just duplicate this one. Duplicate, go to settings, and just rename it to rm underscore game underscore diff, and then load in the correct background. There we go. And tick. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is we're going to create the button templates. Yeah, so we're going to go to sprite, create sprite, and I'm going to call it spr underscore btn, and underscore. Actually, I think that's it. BTN. That'll do. Because we just want to make one sprite, one simple sprite. So I'm going to go to Edit Sprite. You're going to go to New Sprite and then leave it on 32 by 32. Just basically because we're going to scale it up every time we use it. So I'm going to select the one with the outline, and I'm going to draw it on the screen now. Something like that is fine, and then do the tick. And I'm going to leave it pretty much as it is without moving the origin point. And then we're going to create ourselves. Actually, I think we'll clean up our objects first of all. Okay, in our object section, you can see all of our objects, and what we can do is we can put things into groups. I wonder if I can select them all. I can't. Okay, right click on the objects bit folder and do create group, and then going to call this GRP for group, and then game obj. So I'm going to put all of our objects into this. These are all our game ones, the ones that we have when we're actively playing the game. So we can drag and drop these. You should be able to drag and drop them into the group if it works. Why isn't it working? There we go. Okay, there we go. And then basically we can collapse that group, and then we don't always see all the objects at the same time. Okay, we're going to create another group. So grp underscore btn for buttons, and then we're going to put all of our buttons inside this group. So create object, and it's going to be obj, if I can write it, bj underscore btn underscore, and then it's going to be s for start and then game. So s game. I'm going to load the sprite, and there we go. Then I'm going to copy this part of it, so Control C, just so I don't have to keep writing it, and click OK. And then I'm going to duplicate the button I've just made, and then when it pops up, I'm going to Control V to paste that in there, and then write exit. So this is the second button, exit. Then I'm going to do again, create object. Oh, should have just duplicated anyway. And then this is return. And add the sprite because I forgot to. And then the next one, duplicate, Control V, easy. And again, duplicate it every time. Oh, sorry. Control V, normal. And then finally, the last one, duplicate, Control V, hard. Okay, let's just reorganize these a little bit. Return normal, put that one in the middle. Okay, there we go. Alright, so this is all of our buttons that we have, and we need to just quickly position them inside of our game rooms. The other thing that we need to do is inside of our room section, we need to order the rooms in the way that we want to come up. So I'm going to move game menu to the top, and then game diff just above that one, if I can. There we go. Right. So I'm going to open up game room. I'm just going to move it so it's pretty much in the recording section. Okay, so I'm going to go to objects and then go into button objects, and you can see because of these folders it kind of like doesn't spawn all of our objects all over the place. We can sort of see where they are. So this is going to be obj btn games, and I'm just going to put it into the top corner, and then I'm going to scale it out, so grabbing the bottom corner because of the where we put our origins. So there we go there, and then middle mouse button, drag myself along a little bit, then making sure I select the next right button, so btn exit, and I'm going to put it in here and drag it over this. And it can, what we want to do is we want to overlap whatever it is. So it doesn't matter these are two different sized buttons, it's just as long as wherever it's been drawn inside of the room, it covers that so the player knows where to click. Okay, and then we're done with this room, and we open up our next room. So what's our next room? Game diff. Okay, so there's a few more things that we have to put into here. So I've got quite a few buttons. So I'm going to go into objects, I'm going to go to buttons and find, what's the next one? Return, we can put that one up there. Okay, and you can sort of see down here, or if you can kind of see that, whenever I mouse over an object, it says what the object is. So this is how you know you're not like putting in the wrong button in the wrong place. Also, it's something that is easy to sort of debug, because if you click on a button and it takes you to the wrong place, you know you've accidentally put the wrong button there. Okay, so the next one is easy. Put this one in, drag it up, mouse over it, make sure it says the right thing down here. Wonderful. Then we need normal. Oops, don't want two normal buttons. Scale it up, just make sure there's not two. Okay, there we go. And then finally we want a hard. Yeah, just try and drag it up to the size so it's intuitive that when you click on it, you know where you're clicking. Likewise, I might want to make this one a tiny bit bigger, and probably this one as well. Alright, because grid snaps on, it means that it's not overlapping, none of these buttons are overlapping each other. I'm going to close that one. Alright, then I'm going to open up my my room wins, because we've got these new return buttons that need to get placed. So I'm going to go to objects, group buttons, and then find return, and then position these accordingly. And then the other one. And the reason why I want to put these into the room is so that I don't, after I do the coding, I don't run the game and then totally forget that I've done this. Alright, just a bit of paranoia to check that I've got the right buttons. So return in this one, and then in this one, return. Wonderful. And then, oh, I don't have any buttons in this one. Easy, normal, hard, return. I mean, if you want to, you could actually make individual sprites for these, but I don't really think there's much point, since as when the game's actually running, we're going to hide all these anyway. So, game, exit. Okay, that's it. Alright, wonderful. If I playtest it, so I'm just going to pause while I playtest it. Okay. Yeah, the reason why I pause it, just to remind you, is like so that you don't have to see the compiling. Sometimes when running GameMaker, it sort of slows down while I'm recording, so it doesn't compile as fast as it does when I don't record. Anyway, I've got these two buttons in here, and it came up with the correct screen, and this is due to making sure that the right room is at the top of the sort of stack inside the rooms section. If you had a different room there, or if you really just wanted to test the game, like the actual gameplay, you can drag and move them up. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to start putting in the code for what we need. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first button, which is the start game button, and this should take us to our game room. So what I'm going to do is going to add an event, and then it's going to be a mouse event, and then it's a left pressed, I think. Yeah, left pressed, which is the left mouse button. Okay, the normal mouse button. And it should be when you click on the actual object itself of the button, and then it does something. Okay, and then the next thing is we're going to drag in the code window, and we're going to put a comment saying button to main menu, and then the code that I need is room underscore go to, and then open bracket. You can sort of see down here, or just about, it says room go to, and then it says number, which is basically asking you which room you want to go to. So the room I want to go to is rm underscore, and when you start typing it out, especially if you start typing it out right, it comes up with a list, and we want to go to game diff because when we click on this we want to go to the difficulty screen. I'm going to put a semicolon on there. Then I'm going to copy this code just so that to speed up the process, and click the tick, and then OK. Then the next one I want to do is the exit. So I'm going to have add event, mouse left button pressed, make sure it's pressed. If it's a different one, then while you're holding down the button it keeps recording it, and I had a little bug when I was testing it before that if you have two buttons in the same place on different like screens, it clicks this one, and then as soon as the other screen changes to with the buttons underneath it in the second room, it clicks that one as well, and it's kind of really confusing. So if it's pressed, then it only kind of records the click once until you release it and do it again, so it doesn't do that changeover real quick. Okay, anyway, code window. I'm going to paste this in here, and I'm going to delete this second line, and then the code I need in here is game underscore end open bracket close bracket and a semicolon, button to exit the game. So this will ultimately do the same thing as hitting escape on the keyboard, but if for whatever reason we wanted to lock that function out, then that would totally do that. Alright, just to really check that the code's working for these, I'm just going to pause the video while I test it. Okay, so I'm back and it's come up with the right things. So I'm going to test it by clicking on the exit button first, and you can see that closes the game. Then I'm going to quickly retest it, so let's pause this again. Okay, so it's come back, and then if I click on this other button it should take us to the other room, and you can see that it's got the boxes in the right places. Alright, wonderful. So we know that those ones work, we can test those on the other ones. So I'm going to go to the return button, and because we've got this return button in multiple places, yeah, we're going to make it go back to the main menu every time we click on it, so it should do that with the player options as well. But we could change it around if we wanted to have another button that does the same thing. So left pressed first of all, code window, drag in, Control V to paste the code that we had from before, and then we want to change this to game, and then we want to select level. Actually, want to go to main menu. I think game main menu. There we go. Quite wonderful. That was a bit confusing. Yeah, so we're going to go button to. Oh, so this one says main menu. I think I've written the wrong comment in the other one. Anyway, so this one's main menu. That must mean that this one I've written wrong. Just not the code wrong, the comment wrong. To game difficulty screen. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so the code was fine, but it's just what I wrote in there for the comment was a bit wrong. I guess that's sometimes you make mistakes when you're recording videos, as I remember. Anyway, the next button is easy. So add event, and then mouse and left pressed, and then drag in the code window, Control V, and then this one is game, and it should be, is it that one? Yeah, game level 1. Okay, and this should take us to level 1 of our game on easy. Okay, so you could make multiple of these buttons for different levels, or you could make them so when you complete a level it automatically goes on to the next one. What we've done with this for this example is we want to be able to select different difficulties, so you can try on different difficulties, and that's kind of what we're going to set up in the next game, in the next video. Alright, so I'm going to test this out first of all. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to test it, so 1 second. Okay, so we're back, so I just move this so you can see it. So I'm going to click on this game 1, and it kind of done that thing that I didn't want it to do. Okay, wonderful. Let me fix that up. Okay, so it's a little bit fidgety at the moment. I think when you click on it, if you click on it and hold the button down and release it, it will kind of work. So let's try again. Hold on. Yeah, it records it if you click on it. Yeah. It's probably a bit of bad interface design on my part, but maybe if we had a timer in there or something that it doesn't register the click or something like that. Anyway, I might experiment with it and try see if I can fix it for the next video. Anyway, this kind of concludes this video itself. Actually, let's try and get it to score all the right goals in the right places. Might take a while. Come on. So it's quite hard playing against yourself, I find here. So if we can get that into 9. Okay, so it comes up here. This should take us back to our main menu. There we go. And it brings us all the way back around again. So this kind of concludes the menu options. I'm going to play around a little bit more to get it a bit more optimized. Also, you can, if I just close this, you can go into these buttons, if it opens, there we go, and make them all like invisible, which is going to probably make the game like a little bit more immersive. So you can go through that and fix that up, but that's just a minor thing anyway. Okay, in the next video, what I'm going to do is going to set up like variables and stuff like that, so we can control the game like from this room here. Just so that we can select different options of play when we go through these, when we click on these buttons. So that's kind of why we set this up. So obviously I didn't set up these 2 buttons, it's because we haven't created the rooms yet. And that should kind of wrap up this game. Okay, thank you.